and the special effects team of Beta Digital out of New Zealand. That is the only part of our studio tour that we present in 3D. So you do not need to wear the 3D glasses again for the rest of the ride. But please hold on to these. We do recycle them. So we collect these at the end of the tour. But you don't have to wear them anymore. In fact, don't wear them anymore because I'll be honest with you, you look funny. There are 2 screens inside that attraction, one on each side of the tram. Each screen is 40 feet tall and 180 feet long. Really big screens inside. And right before we entered, you may have noticed a tram on the right side of the tram that looks like King Kong stepped on in a moment of anger. It was just about to drive over the bridge that's about to fall apart. It doesn't look like it's in very good shape. That bridge was built in 1974. That's how it looked in 1974. It always looked like that. That's how they designed it, to look like an old bridge. They did it that way on purpose. In the 70s, we used it in some of our television shows, like The $6 Million Man and The Bionic Woman. And in the 1980s, we used it on Quantum Leap. And this is the collapsing bridge on Quantum Leap. There it is. That's what we just drove by. That just got Backlot. In this episode, he had to prevent a woman from jumping off the bridge by reaching out and saying, "Pull my finger." I don't know what he said. It probably was not that. We've got some picture cars on the left, cars we've used in our movies and TV shows. The first 2 cars we're driving by are from Fast 5, our new Fast and Furious film, which is going to open up in 2 weeks. And some of the cars that you're about to see are as famous as the actors and actresses that have driven them. These cars are so famous, I probably don't have to tell you what they're from, because the billboard's right behind them will do that for me. I will tell you anyway. We have one of the vehicles, one of the Ferraris from Magnum PI, the Mule from Serenity. In fact, the Mule from Serenity is the only vehicle in this area that doesn't really run, because in the film, that flew. Doesn't really fly, that was special effects, but all the cars work. We have a DeLorean from Back to the Future. 15 different DeLoreans were used for the making of the 3 Back to the Future films. We've got some more cars from the Fast and Furious movies. A lot of times in movies and TV shows, we have to use more than one of the same car. Like in the Fast and the Furious films, there were chase scenes and races, and the cars got damaged, and most movies are filmed out of order. So if they shot a scene where the car got crashed, a car crashed, and then the next day they shot a scene that's supposed to take place before the car got crashed, and they didn't have time to fix the car, they would just replace it with a completely new car. And directly in front of us, there's a special effects stage just to look like Tokyo, inspired by our film, The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. And in this area, we're going to demonstrate how we do a special effect called motion control. There are 2 more picture cars on the left, but they're not real cars. They're just the outer shells made of fiberglass and plastic. They only move with the help of motion control. We have a special effects crew. They're going to demonstrate what that type of effect is right now.
We're on the set. Let's see the bullet hit. And go. Smoke. Go. Fire. Go. Okay, we're clear for a full run through. All systems check. This one's for real, guys, so watch out. And action.
That's some pretty good special effects work, guys. Go ahead and take a bow. Yeah. Show them what else you can do. They call the special effect motion control because all of the motion is controlled by a computer. Every movement that you see here is programmed into a computer. computer, so the cars will move the same exact motion every time, and we can manipulate the cars into any position. But the arms that are underneath them controlling them would not be seen in a movie or TV show. They would completely erase them with computer special effects. You guys only have to listen to this song once. Something about gasoline, more about gasoline. We're driving off the streets of Tokyo where they're playing a song in Spanish. I don't get it. As we hop into this section for Backlot, John Hammond, is there anything you want to say to these people?
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
We're going to drive through an area where we have sets and vehicles from the Jurassic Park. Over there on the left, there's an RV. You can see it on the screen. Pause it right there. That was a mobile lab in the second Jurassic Park, the Lost World. There was actually another mobile lab that they used in the movie too, but it was pushed over the side of the cliff by a T-Rex. That vehicle on screen is on the left side of the tram right next to it. Oh, look out! We have spinners! They're still spinning! Why do dinosaurs keep spinning? Oh, that's the second time. That's funny. I have a window. Sorry, if I knew they were there, I would have told you. Did you get wet? You guys didn't get wet in the front row, did you? You did? You didn't get wet? I thought that... Anybody not get wet? You didn't get wet? You guys took the good seat? Don't laugh though, the tour's not over. We're at a movie studio. It is possible for us to do weather effects at any time. I'm not a professional weatherman, but the Today Show's Al Coker is. Al, tell us about the weather on the lot.
Hi everybody, here's today's forecast from the Universal Backlot. It's going to be sunny and dry in 6 Points, Texas. Cool and cloudy in Europe. Expect snow and sleet on New York Street. We've got a high chance of clouds and precipitation for Skull Island, Amity Island, and Isla Nublar. That's your forecast for today. Now here's a look at what's going on in your neck of the lot.
Our neck of the lot is Old Mexico, where we have a flash flood warning. I see. I don't like the sound of the thunder there. Oh, look at that. So Al Roker predicts flash flood, and then it starts raining really hard. There's a problem with rain in this part of our backlot because the set is built on a hill, and during storms we've been known to have floods. So be careful if you're sitting on the left side of the tram. Enjoy! Watch the top of the hill, but keep your cameras protected because here comes a flood. Effect to do. There's a huge tank of water at the top of the hill hidden by the trees, and there are doors at the bottom of the tank. When we want them to, the doors open up, all the water dumps out of the tank, rolls down the hill, flash flood. The rain is sprinklers. How easy is that? We have sprinklers up in the trees and on the rooftops. We can turn that on and off at any time. So let's see. Rain, we're done with you. Go ahead and cut. We call this general area of our backlot Old Mexico because this is almost always used as Mexico in productions. Until recently, it was...
You're about to be crowned the Easter Bunny.
Look, Dad, I want to drum in a band. I want to see the world.
Yippee, the Easter Bunny sees every country in one night.
Oh, really, Dad? What about China?
Yeah, what about China? It was China in Hop. Look at the set over here on the right side of the tram with all the archways. Now look at the monitor. That's our backlot.
It's candy! Alright, so we haven't cracked China yet.
The voice of Father Easter Bunny in the movie is Hugh Laurie. He plays Dr. House on House. They did an episode of House out there in Old Mexico not too long ago, as well as Community. So Chevy Chase was doing some scenes out there, the same section of the backlot where he made Three Amigos back in 1986. Short trip to Mexico. We've already crossed the border into Texas. These are our Western sets, and here to tell you a little bit more about them is the return of my co-host, Whoopi.
Did you know that more movies have been shot on these streets than any other spot in the world? Now, during the silent film era, they could shoot up to 6 movies at the same time, one on each one of these 6 streets. That's why it's called 6 Points, because each street had its own bank, its own sheriff's office, its own saloon, and its own hotel. Now, it turns out that this town ain't big enough for both of us. So get on back onto your tram stagecoach thing and get the heck out of here. Go on, go on.
If you look at the sets on both sides of the tram, at first glance, a lot of them look like they're made of brick. Nope. Not one building in this part of our backlot is made of brick. They are fiberglass panels stuck against the wall that look like brick because it's not as expensive to build a set using those materials. It looks good on film though, and that's the important part. If you look at your monitors, I'm going to show you some westerns we've done out there with people like John Wayne, Jimmy Stewart, and Clint Eastwood.
You're just going to stir things up here. That I am.
How dare you hit that man?
Mine hit the ground first. Mine was taller.
Look on the left side of the tram, there are 2 statues on the corner that say Lion Estates. They were used in the Universal Western Back to the Future Part 3. They were using all 3 of the Back to the Future films. They were placed on the corners of the street that led to the McFly house where Marty McFly and his family lived. In the first Back to the Future, Marty goes back in time to 1955, and the estates haven't been built yet. So the only thing that's in the area are those 2 statues, and he hides the DeLorean right behind one of them. Just a few moments ago, we took you inside of our King Kong attraction, and we demonstrated how Peter Jackson and the special effects team at Weta Digital was able to use computer effects to create the look of Skull Island. But now we're going to show you another type of special effect that was used in the film. But first, I'm distracted. Kids, you know what that is? That's our driver, Jim. Right. Oh no, look right behind Jim. I wasn't supposed to give you that. You're supposed to find that out here. We're going to be showing you a special effect that was used in King Kong miniature sets. They are highly detailed sets that are small, but they look full size on film. And we're coming up to one of the sets that was... I don't know if you can see this or not. We have a bit of trouble. The flash flood that we just saw flooded the road that we need to take to get to that part of the backlot. So right now, we don't have any road to get over there. Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads. Please part the water. Look at that. It's just like the Red Sea in the movie The 10 Commandments. Our water is parting, and it's going to allow us to drive right through to the other side. You're going to be able to get a great up-close and sea-level picture of these miniature sets that were used in the 2005 version of King Kong. If you have any personal belongings on the floor of the tram that you don't want to get wet, just as a precaution until we drive through to the other side, go ahead and pick those items up. We're heading in. Well, let me show you the set in the film, too. That's the miniature boat. That's a real guy. That's a real guy. That's a real guy. That's the miniature set of Skull Island. That's the little boat crashing into it. That's the miniature boat. That's Jack Black, fascinated with a miniature boat. the tour, we've driven you through our city streets and our western towns. Now we're going to be taking you to Little Europe. We call this area of our backlot Little Europe, but it can be made to look like any country in the world. Last year, this was Austria and Spain in the same movie. Night and day with Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz. They're on a motorcycle and they're being chased by a bull through the streets of Spain. That was done on these cobblestone streets. Disney used some of these sets for the first 3 Pirates of the Caribbean films. About 3 weeks ago, HBO was out here doing an episode of True Blood. 4 weeks ago, HBO was here doing Curb Your Enthusiasm. And about 2 months ago, they were filming The Muppets out here with Jason Segel and Amy Adams. In the 30s and 40s, this is where we made our classic horror movies. Frankenstein, Dracula, Wolfman, The Invisible Man, The Phantom of the Opera, The Hunchback, and The Mummy. And just yesterday, they were doing a commercial out in this section for Backlot, so they still have some of the sets dressed for that kind of shoot. These are some of the famous monsters that have roamed this section of Backlot. We did a lot of Abbott and Costello films out in this section for Backlot too. Back in the 40s and 50s, they spoofed a lot of those horror movies. Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, Abbott and Costello meet The Invisible Man, Abbott and Costello meet The Mummy. They were all done out there too. Little Fockers use this little set over here on the right side of the tram. Near the beginning of the film, Dustin Hoffman is supposed to be in Spain learning to dance the flamenco. He was actually shooting that scene right over there as trams are driving by. Soundstage 50 is opening up for us right now. Inside the soundstage, there's a set that's dressed to look like a